Hi, yogis. Lizzie Lassiter here with Slow Your Flow for Your Flow. This is a sequence for when you're on your period, or if you don't get your period anymore, or you never had a period because you're a man. This is a wonderful sequence for inviting yourself to slow down. It's going to be mostly restorative and a few gentle movements in between. The idea is to downshift, downregulate our nervous system and honor the desire of the body to rest, which is something I, as a working mom of two 5-year-olds, find really challenging. I can look around my house and always see something else that needs to get done. We're so removed from the natural cycles. We know this in our screen-based lives. We're not paying attention to the cycles of nature and the cycles of our body. So I sometimes talk about body time versus kind of intellectual brain time. And brain time works really fast. We send an email, we're tack, 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 post something on Instagram, check their comments, getting things done, to-do lists. Body time is much slower, and restorative yoga acts on the scale of body time. So we're going to take supported, comfortable positions, cover our eyes, and then we're going to stay there. Be with the breath, be with sensations, be with thoughts that arise. There's really no wrong way to be in the pose. The overarching theme is that we are going to be in the pose. There's nothing that we're doing. And I always say that when we practice restorative yoga, it is a unique space in my day in which I'm neither consuming or producing. And so, in that sense, it's very fertile ground for listening and for creativity and for this sort of renewal phase that happens when we're on our period. It's the switching of the cycles, it's the flushing out of the old and preparing for the new, for the next cycle. So, whenever you're craving that energy, this is a wonderful practice for you. Last thing I'll say before I move to the mat, if you like this type of content, a free full-length yoga class, it could arrive in your inbox every month if you subscribe to our new moon mail. The way to do that is to use the link below, or you can go to my website, which you can find at this shortcut, lizzie.yoga, and then click up under contact newsletter. I also send out a newsletter every Sunday. It's a rumination from me to you, a little restorative yoga love note to you. I also hope you will subscribe to this YouTube channel and comment below this video how you enjoyed this practice, how you feel in your body mind after the practice. I personally see all of those comments. We're going to begin with a Supta Baddha Konasana, supported bound angle pose. Make sure that you are not stretching here. That is the difference between yin yoga and restorative yoga. Yin yoga is still on the continuum that uses stretching to get our attention and focus the mind. Restorative yoga, we're looking for comfort rather than stretch. So take more support than you actually need, which is I realize, a radical concept also for me, not to go all the way to the edge. We were just listening the other day in the car to that Aerosmith song, Living on the Edge. If you haven't heard it in a while, go to your Spotify and check it out. Living on the Edge. That's how I live most of the time, right up to the last second in terms of timing, right up to the last drop of my energy level. Today in this practice, we're going to take more support than we think we need. And we're going to physically embody that sensation of letting the props support us. When we let it support our physical body, we also interpret that in our nervous system as having energetic and emotional support. Let's give it a try. So the basic idea of this setup is that the head is elevated. I have a pillow here for my head. I have a bolster, and underneath I have a block. So I'm going to sit in front of this and lean back. This pillow is going to snuggle in and support my head and shoulders. And then I'm going to support my knees with two blankets. And I'm going to take a third blanket for warmth. Noticing that this is crooked, which is driving me crazy. And last thing before I show the full setup, I want to remind you that this book, Relax and Renew, which is Mama's original restorative yoga book, I'll include the link below in the YouTube notes as well, is a gem. I've taken some of the poses from this sequence, from this sequence are from inspired by the Moon Club sequence in that book. Okay, so I'm going to take my blanket from Tadasana of the blanket, fold, roll, and then I'm sitting right up against it. Let me also have my eye mask nearby. Soles of the feet are together, and I'm not going to draw them in too tightly towards my pelvis. I'm going to let them move out and be open here. So there's no sense of force. And then I'm going to take the second blanket, open it up, fold it, and roll it. Now you can see well here, I'm not just putting it at the tip of my knee to support at the end range of motion. I'm drawing it all the way in, thigh, and the side of my lower leg, really deeply in there to support my leg. Oh, already feels good. Okay, now I'm going to take a blanket and put it on my feet. Depending on the temperature where you are, you may need more or less of this, but I would always take something, just the energetic idea of covering yourself here feels really good. It's a very exposed and open position. Now I have my third eye mask. This video is brought to you by my third eye mask. You can find these on my website, lizzie.yoga. They're great for restorative yoga because you put them here while you're doing your setup. And then when you get down there, you can always find your eye mask. Oh, so good. So make sure your lower back is happy here. It really needs to be well supported. And then I'm going to take the pillow and tuck it under. Yes, 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 yes. Any last adjustments that you need? Make sure your phone is off, your door is locked. You're completely ready to receive this position. And I'm going to set a timer for us. And then we'll begin. So just letting yourself grow heavy down, noticing any areas of tension in the body. I often feel it here in the low belly, that there's an internal energetic sense of gripping, or maybe it's here by the diaphragm. You might want to place your hands gently onto your body. Thank you, body, for everything that you're doing, for this wonderful cycle of renewal that's going on in the background while I'm busy overthinking, while I'm busy stressing over here. You, intelligent body, are moving steadily through your cycles. And now release the hands down. Make sure the elbows are supported on the floor, not hanging. If the elbows are hanging, then you need to place something underneath on your mat, like a blanket, so that the elbows are all the way down onto the floor. I like to come onto the little finger side of my hand, not palm down, not palm up. Close your mouth and breathe through your nose. We'll have a few minutes of silence together, and then I'll bring us back together. Inhale your breath. Exhaling. Gently close your knees. Pause here. Moving slowly. Press yourself up to sitting. Scan your body now from the inside out. This is called interoception. Feeling your internal state. And if you had to summarize that in a single word, how do you feel right now? I'd love to see it in the comments below. Type it into the comments. The word that bubbled up. Mine is soft. We're going to do a gentle twist as a transition from this back bend towards some supported forward bends. So I'm going to bring the soles of my feet to the floor and then turn to the side here. And you can put your hands on either side of the bolster. Inhale the breath, not too tight or severe. We're not trying to squeeze the belly. We're just doing a very gentle twist. Soften the head, soften the gaze, maybe close the eyes. A couple of breaths here. And take your left arm. So I've twisted to the right first. Take your left arm, or whichever arm it is now that's away from the twist, and lift up and over. So feeling that left knee move away from you. It's the counterpoint to the arm reaching up and over. So the knee and the wrist are moving in opposite directions. If it feels appropriate, you might want to come down onto the elbow here. You might want to droop the top arm over so you feel a spreading here along the top ribs. Again, staying really close to the breath. My knees reaching away. My wrist is drooping down to the floor. 3 more breaths here. Turn the top palm and press into that hand to bring you all the way up. Now we'll turn around and do the other side. Soles of the feet on the floor. And then let the knees drop towards the left. Bring the fingertips on either side of your bolster. Inhale the breath. So it's not so much that I'm twisting as I'm twisting and moving down at the same time. And there's a movement here when we do these twists that feels really good, where I'm sitting on this left hip and then I'm twisting, and I can release that left hip by moving it directly behind me and then settling back down on a new place on the hip. Feels really nice. Remember, your pelvis is coming with you into the twist. You're not anchoring that back sitting bone in any way, because that's going to enrage your sacroiliac joint, which does not like that, especially when you're on your cycle, because the hormonal profile is making all of your ligaments more loose. So don't torque that sacroiliac joint. Keep the sacroiliac joint intact. Bring the whole pelvis with you into the twist. And now sweep your right arm up and over, moving it in a diagonal line. I feel this instantly in my deep low belly on that right side when I move the knee away from the wrist. Yes, yes, yes. If you're not feeling a yes sensation in your body right now, you need to do less. You need to shift your position. You need to change something until you're having a full body yes reaction. Perhaps come down onto your elbow here and reach the knee away from the wrist. Perhaps droop this top arm over. So this is a variation of Bharadvajasana, this twist. 3 more breaths, opening that rib cage. Turn the top palm and press into the left hand, come all the way up. Turn towards your props now. For some cat-cow movements, lubricating the spine. I'm going to move the bolster out of the way. We'll need it in a moment. Come onto your hands and knees. Exhale, drop the head, lift the belly. And inhale, reverse that movement. Moving from the pelvis initiates the movement and the spine receives or echoes that shift. Begin by lifting your tailbone and the rest of the body responds. And now the tailbone tucks and it ripples, that shape ripples through the rest of the spine. Lift the tailbone, nutating the pelvis, nutating, nodding forward, moving into a back bend. And this is now counter nutation. A few more times like this. And exhaling, come back onto your heels. The next movement you can do with both hands on blocks. If you have 2 matching blocks, which I highly recommend, you source for your home practice space, or you can do it on fingertips. So I have this block. I'm going to get my second block. And we're coming into a low lunge. The right foot is forward. The back knee is down. Inhale the breath. You can bring the blocks even higher. Remember, this is a gentle set of movements, slow flow. Inhale. And exhale, lift the front toes, bow the head. Opening this space here between the pelvis and the rib cage. So the kidneys are moving back. Inhale, shift the pelvis forward. And exhale, bow forward and feel as though energetically you're still moving back. There's a vector of energy that's moving beyond your body back. A few more times like this. You come forward. You don't need to go all the way to your edge, living on the edge. You don't need to live on the edge in this practice right now. In fact, as we do these gentle movements, with the breath inhaling here and exhaling as we shift back, you might want to ask yourself, what would it feel like? Number one, what would it look like? What would this pose look like for me today if I only went to 80% of my capacity? What a novel idea. And release, come back and sit on one of your blocks. Interlace your fingers, press the palms forward and up. We're sitting in Virasana, extending the arms over the head. Reaching as tall as you can here. And release the arms down. Interlace the fingers with the other thumb on top. Straighten the arms, press the palms forward, and then all the way up towards the ceiling. The belly is soft here. It's a small back bend in the lower back, normal curve. And my shoulder blades are moving up towards my hands. I'm not holding them down in an unnatural movement that pinches the supraspinatus tendon of the shoulder joint. I'm letting my shoulder blades move with the arms. And release. So whenever you want mobility in the shoulder joint, let the shoulder blades move in the direction of the hands. When you want stability in the shoulder joint, you glue the shoulder blades to the rib cage like plank pose. Interlace the fingers one more time behind the back and straighten the arms. Inhale the breath. Exhaling, now we're going to fold and round forward. The forehead comes to the floor and the arms lift up and over. Release the hands down to the side, to the back, and inhale and come up. And now interlace the fingers with the other thumb on top, straighten the arms, inhale the breath. Kind of a dynamic child's pose here, bowing forward, my forehead's on the ground, and the arms come up and over. And come up to sitting again. Now we have the second side of that lunge, that low lunge. So my left foot is going to come forward, hands on the blocks, come forward into a lunge. Back knee is down, low lunge. Exhale, bow the head, moving to 80% of your capacity. Inhale, come forward. And exhale. Shift the pelvis back, feeling a vector of energy moving beyond the body. Toes are lifting. Inhale, heart lifts as you come forward into the lunge. 80%. What does 80% feel like? Very unfamiliar for most of us. Nico and I always have this argument about the gas tank in the car because when it says we only have 20% of gas left, I want to stop and fill up. And he just thinks it's hilarious to drive and drive and drive until there's only 10 kilometers left on the meter in the car and then find the gas station at the last minute. So living on the edge, another example of living on the edge. So when we consciously only go to 80% of our capacity here in the practice, we're moving away from the edge. One more time, shifting the pelvis forward with the inhalation. And we come back with the exhalation. Release the front leg. Once again, you can sit on your block. Place your second block between your thighs. So, third eye mask, ready to go. Or you can use a scarf here, something that's going to be able to cover your eyes. when you come forward and turn to the side. We're doing a supported child's pose and inverted child's pose. So the bolster comes all the way in towards the belly, and that block beneath between my legs is going to support it. Inhale your breath. Exhaling, resist the urge to back bend, swan dive into this forward bend. This is a supported forward bend. So the lower body is also forward bending, meaning the pelvis is tipping slightly backward here. The pressure of the bolster helps to reinforce that movement. Round forward. Cover your eyes and turn your head to one side. Let me set a little timer for us. We won't stay very long on each side. The head turns to the side here. This is an inverted, supported child's pose. Belly is high, head is low. Breathing here into the lower back body between the pelvis, the pelvic rim, and the rib cage. So the kidneys live there. Trying to breathe and open into that space. A few minutes of silence, and then we'll switch the head to the second side. Turn your palms down, press up slightly, and turn your head to the other side. Bring your head down, press into your hands. Big inhalation as you come back up. Take a couple breaths here. We're going to come lying down on the floor on your belly. We move this to the side. And you're going to need a strap. If you don't have a yoga strap, you can use a scarf. I'm going to come on to my belly. Forehead down. Draw your left knee up to a 90-degree angle, 90-90 here, and come up onto your elbows. So it's a sphinx, sort of a variation of sphinx pose. This might be enough for you. This is a strong stretch on the inner thigh, the left inner thigh, with the knee bent here to the side on your adductors. But what I'm trying to get at here is the psoas, which sits behind all of these belly organs. When I'm on my cycle, it's really feels good to give the psoas a little bit of love. So we're stretching here that deep muscle, which is the psoas, that it connects the spine right where the spine transitions from lumbar to thoracic, where the ribs start. And then it goes across the hip joint and connects to the femur. So it's involved in walking and any variation of walking that we do, running, etc. And I'm stretching it now by lengthening my rib cage away from my pelvis. Release, come down, take a pause. Bend the right knee here, 90-90. Come up onto your elbows. Draw the rib cage away from the pelvis. And roll onto your back. Release. Let's draw the right leg up. Shifting the femur away from you as you come up, making space in the hip. And take the strap around the foot. Utthita Hasta Padangustasana. Except this might just be Supta Padangustasana, yeah. Sanskrit quiz for you. So I'm not so much interested here in pulling the foot towards my head. It's enough stretch. Again, 80% of the maximum of what I can do. That left straight leg on the ground is active. And I'm intentionally moving this right femur, thigh bone away from the hip joint. It's not really happening because they're connected, but it's that sensation of creating space here. 2 more breaths like this. So I have my bolster here. You can't see it, but it's on this other side. And I'm going to lift my right hip up really off the floor. I'm not just going to cross it over into the twist. I'm going to go up first and then into the twist. And my task lands on the bolster. I take the strap completely into my left hand, both sides of the strap, and my right arm reaches up and away. The thumb turns down. This is internal rotation of the shoulder joint, I think. Yeah. I always get those mixed up, internal and external. I'm pressing out through both heels, my right heel, my left ball of the foot on the floor, the leg on the floor, the left leg. I'm stretching out through that foot. I'm stretching out through the sole of the right foot. And I'm moving. It's as if I'm trying to put my right shoulder blade down onto the mat. It's not going to get there. And release. Bring the leg back up and lower it down to the floor. Pause here. Pre-Shavasana, preview of what's to come. Bend your knees, soles of the feet onto the floor, and roll your pelvis in a circle. Doesn't matter which direction, we're going to do both. I'm rolling around on the back rim of my pelvis, or kind of rolling around the sacrum. Here, the top of my pelvis is down, and then I roll, and my tailbone is down, and I roll in the top of my pelvis. So I'm going, and then switch directions. Resist the urge to do this movement from your hip flexors. So from the legs are relatively still. They have to move a little bit. But this is a movement of the belly. And lift up 2 centimeters, 1 inch off the floor, and place your pelvis down in neutral. I often find when I do that, lift up and place the pelvis back down, that I have to kind of lengthen the rib cage away. Second side of that Padangustasana. So I'm going to place my bolster onto your side. So it's ready for the leg. Straighten the legs. Left leg now. Swing slowly, moving the head of the femur away from my torso. Take your strap around the foot and breathe. Again, 80% of your max. Here we go. Up and over. I'm lifting that leg and bringing it to the side, taking support with the bolster. And then I'm turning that top hand thumb down. Make sure you still have tension on your strap. I think that feels good. And moving the left shoulder blade now down towards the floor. And release. Soles of the feet back down to the floor. Pause here in neutral. Drop the knees to the left. You might want to take a hold of the elbows above the head. Again, moving that right knee away from your body, away from the pelvis. Roll back to the soles of your feet, and the knees come over to the right side. Left knee now, you might want to switch the elbows. The left knee is drawing away from the pelvis. And release. Come onto your back and draw your knees in towards your chest. Rolling now. Once again on the back of the pelvis, rolling around the sacrum. And switch directions. And release. Slowly lower the feet to the floor. Bring the knees together, the hands onto the belly. And we'll inhale to 5, exhale to 5. Normal breath in, normal breath out. A few pranayama breaths here. Samavriti, same disturbance. Inhale to 5, exhale to 5. The physical body is in a position called constructive rest. And we'll do these counting breaths interspersed with normal breath in, normal breath out. Here we go. Inhaling to 5. Through the nose, mouth is closed. Normal breath in, normal breath out. Continuing on your own. Release the breathing now. That was 10 Samavritti breath and 10 normal breath. Roll yourself to the side and press up to sitting. It's time now for Shavasana. We're going to set up the legs slightly elevated. If you have a rectangular bolster, I would use that. Otherwise, you can fold blankets to make a similar shape. I will include the link below to all my favorite props, this bolster included. So the idea is that the legs are elevated like that. If you have blankets, you're going to fold them lengthways like this to make a platform for the legs. I would put probably 3 blankets like that. So what else do we need? We need a pillow for the head. We need our eye cover, of course, nearby. We need a blanket for warmth on top. And I'm going to put away these other 2 blankets that I don't need, or this blanket that I don't need. And I'm going to get a sandbag, which I suppose most of you don't have at home. I recommend you do get a sandbag. They're lovely. And I'll show you what you can do with it. So the legs come onto the bolster, and I recommend you take a blanket and wrap the legs. So I'm going to tuck in here and tuck in. Backs of my knees are supported and the legs are held here. This is going to be gentle, soothing on the lower back. Now, if you have a sandbag, you can put that on your ankles. Oh, so nice. Then I'm going to cover myself up. And lie back. Scoot a tiny bit forward. Come onto your elbows, pause, and lengthen your rib cage away from your pelvis. Adjust the head support so it's scrunched in and under. Ideally, your forehead is slightly elevated above your chin. Let me set a timer for us. Cover your eyes. Open your arms to the side. Can be palms up. I like to come onto the little finger side. And release here into the support of the floor, into the support of the blanket that's wrapped around your legs, maybe the sandbag that's pressing down. Give up all ambition. There's nothing that you need to do here. You don't even need to relax. Simply observe the sensations of breathing. And notice your default mode network, your habit of thinking when in the absence of input. Notice where your mind goes. Notice without judging, and then tug, gently nudge your attention back to the sensations of breathing. A few minutes of silence together, and then I'll bring us back together to say goodbye. You are held, you are safe, you can open. Inhale your breath. Exhaling, slowly unwind your body from the pose. Bend one knee and then the other. Roll yourself to the side. Press yourself up to sitting. That was 15 minutes of Shavasana, 15 spacious minutes of silence. We did 10 minutes in the Supta Baddha Konasana, and then about 2 minutes each side of the head to the inverted child's pose. So I would say there was 3 restorative poses in this sequence, interspersed with some slow flow movements. And we practiced a Thamavritti pranayama just before the Shavasana. I really felt that. My Shavasana felt very melted and very introverted, very deep today. If you would like a written sequence from this class, that goes out to all of the New Moon Mail subscribers. If you use the link below, you can subscribe to our New Moon Mail newsletter and you'll receive a class like this in your inbox. It's often from me, but sometimes we have guest teachers every single month. Inhaling, open the palms away from the body. With an exhalation, bring them together in front of your heart. Namaste. May we live like the lotus, at home in the muddy water. Thank you so much for your practice. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you next month.